Thanks so much. Alongside Andy Martino from the winter meetings. And Andy, Mets haven't done a whole heck of a lot, but the number one target for them still out there in Yoshinobu Yamamoto. What is the latest on their pursuit?
Well, I know Met fans were looking for more action and probably unhappy that the Yankees stole the show at the winter meetings. But this is a temporary problem in some ways for the Mets. They laid a lot of groundwork this week, and as we learned through the week, laid groundwork last week with Steve Cohen and David Stearns briefly visiting Japan to meet Yamamoto's family, have dinner with him. Will Salmon of The Athletic was the first to report the meeting. I was the first to exclusively report that it was French-Japanese cuisine. Remember to give me credit for that. I'm told, leaving the meetings, from people connected to Yamamoto's free agency, that it's going to be at least a week, maybe two, until he chooses a team. Nothing's imminent. Meeting with the Yankees next week. Engage with other clubs, the Giants, perhaps the Dodgers if they don't get Ohtani, the Cardinals. So the Mets are a real contender for Yamamoto. Talking to his people, they are taking the Mets candidacy seriously. So this is something to watch, but not something to watch within the next few days or even potentially a week.
Well, as you mentioned, the Mets are a serious candidate, but there are so many teams that covet Yamamoto, and so you don't know exactly what his criteria is going to be, who he's going to choose. If he doesn't choose the Mets, we know the Mets are still in the market for starting pitching. That's priority 1, 2, 3, 4 this winter. What's the pivot look like if Yamamoto goes elsewhere?
Well, Steve, I think they're going to keep looking at guys on 1 or 2 year deals, Yamamoto or no Yamamoto. A few more Luis Severinos. They didn't get Eric Fetty, but that type of guy, they'll still sign a few of those. And then the bigger pivot, if they don't sign Yamamoto, will be to look at another frontline or frontline-ish starter. Now, Eduardo Rodriguez is off the board because the Mets aren't there yet. Jordan Montgomery's a guy who I know enjoyed New York City, playing in New York, so he could be a target. Haven't heard much of them in Blake Snell. So when I say pivot to a frontline starter, it's not like there are a ton of options, but they will spend on that rotation one way or another, Yamamoto or no Yamamoto, and they understand that they don't have enough arms to fill the amount of innings in a season right now.
Now, even though pitching has been such a strong focus, and even though, again, Yamamoto is the big chase right now, there are some things around the margin that this team definitely still wants to accomplish. What would you say are the priorities beyond getting arms?
Coming into the meetings, it was we need an outfielder and we need pitching. So we've talked about pitching. Now they're looking at an outfielder. As we've been talking about all week, Steve, the outfielders they're linked to are defenders. Like Michael A. Taylor would be the prime example. We'll see if they get him. But David Stearns values defense. He knows that you have to catch the ball in order to prevent runs. So you're looking at guys who have versatility, can play center. I think in a perfect world, Brandon Nimmo is playing at the corners more than he has the past couple of years. And they get a more of an elite defensive center fielder to fill some innings there. So that's what they're looking at.
Well, run prevention was a buzz phrase that David Stearns kept using to talk about the starting pitching in general, that it's not just about getting the arms in, but it's also about improving the defense in general. We'll see where the Mets go when it comes to adding that extra outfielder. He's Andy Martino. I'm Steve Gelbs. We're going to try our best to find our way out of this place at some point in the next, 6 to 12 hours.
Maybe we can finally do it at the end.
But for now, let's send it back to you.